Hey everybody, welcome back to the live stream lesson. Today we're going to be starting Suzuki book number 3. So welcome to book number 3. And we're just going to be taking a look at the first piece of Suzuki book number 1, which is going to be Berceuse. And yeah, as usual, let's take a listen to how the song goes. Give me 1 second. There we go. And we'll continue from there. Alright, so that's how the piece sounds. Now let's just take a look at how the sheet music is. I'm going to try a new format from the other streams. We're going to actually learn the piece using the sheet music in the piece instead of doing line by line before. So let us take a look at the first part, which is, let's just take a look until this guy. So, as you can see, there are 2 fingerings, right? There are fingerings on the top, and then they're top of the line, top of the notes, excuse me. And then there's fingerings on the bottom, right? So, the fingerings on the top are the fingerings that you're going to play in the first time through, in the first repeat. That's just a quick side note. So let's just take a look at all the notes. It's pretty simple. So 1, 2, ready, and B, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 2, 3, 4. All right, not too bad, right? And then let's take a look at the next line. Let's do it a different color. Let's do blue. And same thing. Let's just read through. 1, 2, blue line. 2, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 2, rest, rest. All right, really good. So the notes aren't too bad. The bowing's pretty straightforward, right? And let's continue looking at the next line then. This will be the purple line. And the purple line is also pretty straightforward. 1, 2, ready, and open A. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Really good. Really easy, right? You're probably wondering why we're even bothering to learn this piece. And you'll soon learn why. At least in the second part. Second repeat, right? Alright, so purple line, pretty simple. If we take a look at the last phrase, let's just take a listen, right? Ready, and... So I don't know if you noticed something. This last phrase is actually the same phrase as the blue phrase. So we're going to color it the same. So we can kind of see how the piece is structured, right? Alright, now that we have that, something we can work on now is the fingering. Just making the bowing a little bit clearer. Alright, let's just try and play through from the beginning to the end, at least the first time through, right? Just to get the melody in our ears. Alright, ready from the beginning. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, and 1 and 2, and blue line, and 1, 2, ready, purple line, purple phrase, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and blue phrase, 2, and 2, 3, lift. Alright, so that's how the melody goes. Now, the difficult part is the second repeat, because the second repeat, you have the option to play with the same fingering as in all in first position, right? However, that's not the purpose of this piece. The purpose of this piece is fourth position, notes. Shifting from other positions. Let's word that. Shifting in multiple positions. So that's the main purpose of this piece, I would say. So let's take a look at the bottom fingering now. So you can see, I'm gonna put a bracket in there so you can see that it's an alternate fingering, right? All right. So let's take a quick look at the first yellow phrase. So we're gonna take a look at a new position. Before we were in second position, right? So now we're going to be taking a look at other positions. Most notably the fourth position. So the fourth position, the easiest way to find fourth position is, first of all, have your thumb land in this corner, right? When you shift down, just have it, I guess this is much easier. So when you shift, have your thumb kind of hang down here, right? And when that happens, you can see that my finger is already kind of in this area. So fourth position, the way you can find it is there are several ways. First, you can hear, in the case of D string, it's gonna, your first finger in fourth position is gonna be A. So you can tune your A, first finger A with the A, open A string, right? So, some things to remember about fourth position. Try and keep your wrist flat here. Try not to rest your elbow down here. Keep it out. Have your wrist be straight. Try not to rest your hit the shoulder of the cello here. You can, I often do, but try to avoid that. Okay? Alright, so I put a tape here so you can see where the position is. So remember, the first line is where our fourth finger, pinky, in first position, right? That's another note that we can tune open string. Second position will be when you put your second finger on that first string. And remember that your fourth finger is also that open string note, right? So fourth position basically is when you put your first finger in where your pinky is here. So right here. So the notes here are A, third finger is B, and C natural will be the fourth finger here. Or second finger will be B flat, excuse me. So those are the notes. Those are the notes that you're going to be using. So if we take a look at the first line again, the yellow line, it'll be B here, B, harmonic on the D, go back on the, and harmonic is where you kind of stretch out your third finger. It's exactly the midway point from here to here. The middle point of that is where you would put your finger, and that makes the harmonic. Back to fourth position. 1, 3, 4. And then B, B. And here, we're gonna shift to second position. To the fourth finger, like that. So try to practice like that. place your fourth finger as you change the bow. Like that. So that's the motion that you're gonna do there. That's the hard part. That's the difficult part. So it's, once again, from the beginning, yellow phrase. So fourth position, find your A, and then B, and harmonic, find your A, 2, and shift, 1, 2. Alright, so I'm gonna circle the spot we need to be careful. This shift, right? Be careful of that shift. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Alright, now let's go to the blue phrase. The blue phrase, we're also gonna do the same thing. 3, harmonic, 1, 3, 4. Three, 1, 3, 4, 0. Oh, not 0, sorry. Let's just go to first finger. Alright. So, blue phrase. Blue phrase, it's the same thing, right? Same thing with the fourth position. We start out the same way. So 1, 2, harmonic. So remember, try to find the B by first finding the A natural with the open string, tune with the remember to tune with the open string. So find that A first, and then B's right there. So B and harmonic, A again, and until that part, it's the same as the yellow phrase. And then we go to the ending, right? So the ending is slightly different. But I think this is easier because you just stay in the position. The only difference is shifting here. I would go just 1, 1. So that's actually a good practice. So first finger on that line is what we called, that's actually the third position. So third position you can find by doing, playing the lower string, open string, and then your third finger there is gonna be the upper open string. So in case of D string, it's gonna be G, and then third finger will be A. So the end of blue line is gonna be, and try to glissando or slide to the third position there. So the way you can practice that is just go back and forth with your first finger, right? G, A, back, and try to glissando like this. Alright, so that's the end of the blue phrase. Slide like that. Purple phrase, do basically the same thing as the beginning. We're not gonna do this. So purple phrase, same thing. And while you play that open D, you're gonna shift down to the 4th position, right? Open, open. Then we go back to the blue phrase, and this one is already written out. The only thing I'm gonna change is the last fingering here. We're gonna go to 1. So same thing. Find your 4th position and 3. B harmonic and same thing. All right. And then the last bit is just harmonics on the D string and then G string at the end, right? Not too difficult. Let me quickly make circle this shift and this shift, so you know that it's important, right? Places to practice. There was something I was going to say. Right. When shifting, shift with the bow change. Not before. With the bow change. Not before. So what do I mean by that? So sometimes I see my students do this. They basically move their hand before the bow in the shift. So I'm obviously exaggerating, but I tend to hear that shifting noise before the bow change. And what also tends to happen is they tend to cut the note short, trying to get to the shift. So there's also a timing issue that I tend to notice. So what I try to encourage my students is, don't worry about the gliss. I don't mind hearing the slide, but I do mind hearing when the slide happens. So what I want you to focus on in the circled parts is rhythmically just play the same bow rhythm, right? And shift with the bow change instead of before, right? So try to do this. Change. I want to hear the bow change and then hear at the same time start the beginning of the shift, right? So really, that's going to help you a lot with the timing of the shift. Same thing with the blue part, right? Instead of shifting before, don't do that. Don't do that. Try and shift with the bow change. that's gonna help you a lot in terms of getting good sound, also arriving in the correct spot, and all of that stuff, right? So I highly recommend you practicing that. Also, when starting, slide to the note. So for the first while when you're practicing, don't worry about the glissando sounds that you're doing, because we're trying to get the movement into our hands, right? We're just simply getting used to it. And eventually, you're just going to automatically and without thinking, you're going to be able to shift and get to the right place. Alright, so let's try the whole thing as the second repeat, as a second time through, and with a new fingering, right? So, yeah, let's just try it slowly, slower than usual. 1, 2, 4th position. And 2 and 3 and slide. And harmonic, 4th position. And stay in position. 2, ready, open it. 2, 3, and shift to 4th position. 2, harmonic, and 1 and 2 and 2, 3, 4. Let's do the ending. Harmonics, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, and 2, 3. All right. So, quick note in this part: save the bow. Let's see. What else can we talk about? Well, okay. I'm gonna just write this here, but I have a suspicion not a lot of you vibrato on all the notes. So, I have a feeling not a lot of you know how to do vibrato just yet, or vibrating the notes. That's when you hear that wah, 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 wah. It's when you literally change the note, the pitch of the note a little bit, right? Just make a wave. So if you know how to do that, I recommend doing that all the way through. Right, in all the positions as well. So try to get into the habit of vibrating all the time. Now you're getting into the stage where you're going to be vibrating every note, and then once you get used to that, it actually becomes hard to not vibrate. So it's a funny thing. If you don't know how to vibrate just yet, if you don't know how to do vibrato, drop a comment so I know how many folks really want to learn how to do vibrato. The only thing about vibrato is you need to know how to shift, which you should know how to do by now. So yeah, just drop a comment if you want to know how to do vibrato. All right, let's try and play through the piece, both repeats, and then we'll play with the accompaniment and then call it a day for today, okay? All right, so let's play through the piece from the beginning. First repeat. First repeat is first position. Second repeat is other positions. All right. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and. One, two, rest, and 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, lift and shift. 2, and fourth position. And back to fourth. And 2, 3, and 2, 3. And fourth position. And 2, 3, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 1, and da-dee, 1, 2, 3. All right, really good. So remember that this piece is really focusing on the different position and shifting. The bowing, just be relaxed, legato, detache, normal stuff for the bowing, right? So now let's just try and play with the accompaniment. Just give me 1 second. All right, ready? All right. So that's gonna be it for this piece. I hope the lesson helped you out in learning the piece and to look for what to practice for. This piece is really simple in terms of melody. The difficult part is the shifting. So take your time. Don't be frustrated if it doesn't sound good in the beginning. No one's good in the beginning. You just get used to the different motion, right? It's kind of like learning how to ride a bike. In the beginning, it's really hard and really difficult and awkward. But after you do it, you kind of don't ever forget how to do it. So take your time learning it. Don't be too hard on yourself. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Happy practicing. Bye.